viewers at home, it's good to have you on this program, Women's World. Today we are looking at breastfeeding. Breastfeeding, yes. Breastfeeding is very, very important for mothers and for the babies because we are celebrating the World Breastfeeding Day. Let me say World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action. It's a group, it's a global network of individuals and organizations dedicated to protect, promote, and support breastfeeding worldwide, and this is always every August 1st to 7th. So this year's theme is step up for breastfeeding education and support. So we're looking at the importance of breastfeeding, and I'm having a wonderful guest in the studio, a pharmacist. I'm having Blessing Ifunanya Madue Lucy. You're welcome to this program.
Thank you very much, Ma.
You're welcome. So how important is breastfeeding?
Okay. Breastfeeding is very important because it helps to build the bond between the mother and the child immediately after birth. And through breastfeeding, the child gets the necessary nutrients that helps the baby fight infection and grow. It helps for the necessary growth and development of the baby. And then it helps, breastfeeding is also important for the mother too, because through breastfeeding it helps to prevent development of high blood pressure
for the mother,
development of diabetes, development of ovarian and breast cancer for the mom. It also helps to prevent postpartum hemorrhage, that's like bleeding after birth, because there are hormones that are secreted during breastfeeding that helps to contract the uterus after birth, so that helps to prevent that bleeding that happens after birth.
Yes,
and then it's also beneficial to the child, both immediately after birth and in the long run of growth and development of the child, because it helps to prevent the child from developing diabetes.
The child too?
Yes, it helps the child from getting down with infection, respiratory tract infection and other kind of infection. It also helps with the development of the brain. That's why sometimes we hear people say that a child that is well breastfed will have higher IQ than a child that is
not really properly
properly breastfed, or that is trained with formula milks and all that. A child that is breastfed has higher IQ than such children. So breastfeeding is very important.
Breastfeeding is very important. And now with the World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action, they said the theme for this year is Step Up for Breastfeeding Education and Support. Can you really tell us a little of the step up of breastfeeding? What do you really mean by that?
Alright, so the awareness for this year is to encourage everybody in the different sectors, the government, employers, community workers, the community as a whole, encourage colleagues at work too, to support breastfeeding mothers, to create an environment that supports them. And there are different ways by which people can support breastfeeding mothers. You can support by educating people on the benefits of breastfeeding their children, because there are some mothers that are ignorant of the benefits. They don't want to breastfeed them because they feel like it's just a burden on them. Why don't you just give them formulas and all that? So you can be an educator to the mother. You can educate the mother on why this should be done. That's one way. Another way is by not being one of the people that these companies use to market their formula and come and try to discourage the mother and tell the mother that it is equivalent to breastfeeding the child. No, there's no formula that is equivalent to the breast milk you give your child. That's natural milk is the best. Natural human milk is the best, because those formulas are made from animal milk. So you can't compare them. And some are made from corn syrups and the rest. So you can't compare them to your breast milk. So this is another way where people can come in. And then employers can also give leave to breastfeeding mothers, to mothers that just give birth. Give them leave to stay at home and take care of their children for a while before resuming at work. So these are ways we are trying to raise awareness where people can come in and encourage breastfeeding.
And even colleagues, I guess, sometimes that feel, why won't you come to work? Or maybe the mother needs to go home early to do one or two things for the baby, but the colleague will, no, you are being paid for your work now.
Exactly.
You have to
Exactly.
stay and do your work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So how much breast milk does a child need?
The amount of breast milk that a child needs depends on a particular child. There's no stipulated formula. Whenever you feel your child is hungry, you give your child breast milk. And then the need for the breast milk reduces with the age. Like for the time where you give birth to your child, you may need to breastfeed your child maybe every 30 minutes and so. But as time goes on, the need for that, the frequency reduces. So, but it depends on every child.
Okay.
There's no
Why I'm saying
stipulated.
that is that do I need to breastfeed my baby for like 3 months, 2 months, 6 months?
Okay. Yeah, from the guideline given to us by the WHO, it's the stipulated amount of time to give your child the breastfeed, exclusive breastfeeding, whereby you don't give your child water. You don't give your child any form of formula or any other thing.
Even water, that is.
Yes, even water.
So the breast contains all that, I guess.
Yes, the breast milk contains all that. So is 6 months for exclusive breastfeeding. Then after the 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding, you can start introducing semi-solid food, water, and just gradually for up to 2 years, and even more. But at least for up to 2 years, you're giving your child breast milk. Not so often, but at least you're still giving.
When people are struggling to even give their baby for 6 months,
I feel it's ignorance, because if you're aware, at least maybe when you come back from work, you still try, because when you understand the benefit of breastfeeding your child, you still try your best to, even if it's just maybe in the morning, and then when you come back from work, it doesn't have to be as often as you used to do when the child was younger. Yeah, because there are health benefits attached to doing that.
Okay, so now there's we have like stages, I guess, so of the breast milk. That is colostrum. Can you explain more to us, because I think some mothers might really want to mix it up there, especially that colostrum, how important it is to a baby.
Yeah, there are different stages of the breast milk, different kinds of the breast milk. The colostrum is the first form of breast milk
that the baby gets,
and that lasts for within 2 to 4 days after childbirth. So that's like the first milk your baby gets. That one now, it's high in protein, high in fat soluble vitamins, minerals, and then immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins are the antibodies that helps the child with fighting infections. So it's passed on. It's like passive immunization for the child. It's passed on from the mother to the baby. Yeah. So that's what is going to be given to the baby within the first, let's say within the first 4 days. And that one is thicker, and then it's yellowish, either yellowish or creamy in color. It's not like whitish like the regular breast milk. So after that, you have the transitional milk that is given to the child for some time too. That one now is high in fat. It's higher in fat, and then it's given to the child for a period of, I think, 2 to 4 weeks. Then after it now comes the mature milk. So the mature milk is composed of the carbohydrates, protein, and the fat that the child also needs. And that one now composed of 90% of water. So you see that when you're breastfeeding your child, you don't have to be bothered about water. That what if my child is dehydrated? Your breast milk is composed of 90% of water, so you don't have to be bothered about that. Your child is getting. I think the mother needs to drink enough water and to eat a lot. Yes, exactly. You just eat enough food so that you don't get malnourished. Balanced diet, not just enough. Yeah, balanced diet. Exactly. Yeah, sure. Food that is balanced.
So, is it normal for us to have small amount of colostrum? Because some women, it didn't come out much, when you just give birth, like a woman that goes through CS, I know she has not eaten for the first day or second, and the breast milk didn't come out more. So is that small amount that will come out, will it be enough to serve that purpose? That colostrum, will it serve the purpose?
Yes, it will be enough to serve the purpose. And then even if you feel like it's small, it's not enough for your child, keep breastfeeding, keep massaging your breast, keep pumping, trying to produce more milk, because that produces hormones, the prolactin hormone, that tell the body that your body needs to produce more milk.
Okay.
So that's regular breastfeeding encourages the production of more milk.
Okay. Let's look at some of the common vitamin in the breast milk.
Okay.
Talk about the you've talked about water. We have water there.
Yes.
We have some vitamins. I think you should tell us more.
Okay, it just contains the regular vitamins
That
like
we
the
need,
vitamin A, vitamin C that we need. That's why they say don't heat the breast milk. Like some people may think that when you bring it out, you want to go and heat it. Just put it in maybe the microwave or something.
But you need to warm it still. Maybe
yes,
when it's
to
cold.
be yes when it has come to that regular temperature. It's not that you just bring it blocked and then you just go and heat it. You have to, as I said before, if you know you want to use it the next day, take it to the refrigerator so that it already starts to defrost before you now need to heat it very well. For it's not like you're going to heat it
very well. Just a normal warm water.
Normal temperature. Yes, exactly, because heating it will make the breast milk lose the vitamin C. So that's like one. So it has the ions, the minerals that we need, and the baby needs too. Calcium, they are all in it. Just like from your body to the baby. So all those things are there.
Okay. So now what are some of the common problems that mothers face when they breastfeed their babies? Because some of them have some of them talked about sore nipple and all that.
Yeah, some of the challenges that some mothers experience. Yeah, like for the first time mothers, they may complain of sore nipples. Maybe you're breastfeeding your child, and then your nipples are feeling sore, they are painful and all. So that's like one. Another thing is engorgement. Maybe you may feel that your breast milk is clogged, like it's clumped in your breast, or you may feel like it's so heavy. So for some people, they'll feel like they're not having enough milk to give their child. Why for some people they feel like they are overproducing milk. These are some challenges. So for those that have that feel that experiencing sore nipples is painful and all, there's one of the ways they can try to control this is ensuring that the child, when breastfeeding, does not just bite the nipples, but ensure that your child is the whole dark area of your breast
is in
the mouth of the baby, and your child is well positioned close to your skin so that it's close enough and then there's no pressure on the nipple area. It's all over. Another thing you can do is after breastfeeding the child, you just express some of the breast milk and rub it on the nipple. It has some healing oil there that helps with healing the nipples. Maybe if there's any form of injury there, it helps with healing it. So these are ways you can try to curb that. Then for those that experience, maybe you feel like you are overproducing, so you can pump out some and just pump out. And then when you breastfeed your child, ensure that the child takes from one breast. Maybe from the breast you feel like it's very heavy, the child sucks from that enough before you change to another breast. Why for those that are feeling like maybe they are the production of the breast milk is too small, you ensure that if the child finish sucking from here and then the child feels like he or she is not satisfied, you can change to the other breast and then keep gradually. You see that your production, the breast milk production will increase because your body gets that message that you need more breast milk, and then it produces more for you.
Can a mother's breast be enough for the baby?
Can it be enough?
Yeah, but some mothers feel they don't produce enough. Like
it's enough. It's enough. It's actually on a general note, it's enough. But it's just for some people that feel like because another way for a mother to also check if this child is getting enough breast milk is you check the number of diapers you change. Maybe in the first 2 days your baby may just need to change 1 to 2 diapers a day or so. But if gradually you're changing 6 to 8 diapers, you already know that child is feeding well. For the child to be eating frequently, and you know that your child is feeding well. So those are things you can check.
So now how do we now what happens when a baby sometimes we have issues with some babies that their mother died at, we don't pray for that anyway.
Yes.
The mother died during giving birth to them, and these babies are left like that. You know, some people would say, okay, give it to another mother that is nursing a baby. How ideal is that? Do you think it's proper? Though nobody prays for that. Though some women might even be alive, but they don't feel like I don't feel like breastfeeding my baby, or the mother is not around at that moment. Maybe she goes to work or something, and another person is there. Can the baby person breastfeed the baby for her?
Yes, that's possible. That's possible. But before that can be permitted, it's better the
Mother
person
approves it.
goes for screening, proper
Okay.
screening, HIV screening, hepatitis, and other.
Yeah, but she's
Infection.
breastfeeding her own baby now.
I mean, you cannot just use the assurance of that woman to say, okay, because she's breastfeeding, you can't put your child at risk. You should ensure that you do proper screening before doing that for that child.
Okay.
So, but it's possible.
Okay. So now what are other special precautions that one needs to take when breastfeeding babies?
Other precautions you need to take when breastfeeding your child.
Some mothers, I think they need to, like, sometimes they said, wash your nipple, wash your breast. Maybe you just came back from somewhere, you should wash. And what other
Yeah.
things should we check out when we are breastfeeding our babies?
Okay, when breastfeeding your child, another thing you should try to ensure is that you don't start from the beginning to introduce use of bottles.
Okay.
Use of bottle feeders or pacifiers, those things they put on the baby's mouth, because those things would confuse the baby. The baby would now feel like, is this nipple or not? Before you know, your baby is not feeding very well. So try to keep away from those things first.
Okay.
Till you're ready to start introducing, maybe after like 3 months or after 6 months. For those that really want to do exclusive breastfeeding, try to keep off those things. Or when you're ready to start to use the feeding bottles to give first, when you've stored your breast milk, if you want to, that's when you should. But at least for the first 4 weeks, don't use bottles, so that your child gets used to your nipple and then feeds very well. That's one of them. Then another thing you can do when breastfeeding your child is ensure you learn how to hold the child very well when breastfeeding. If you notice that your child is experiencing some form of discomfort, it's good to carry the child, tap the child, so that if there's some form of gas in the stomach, the child can expel it and digest very well before continuing
Sometimes
feeding.
you rub the baby's back.
Yes, rub and pat the baby's back gently so that it expels that gas then before you continue feeding. So these are some precautions we should take while feeding our babies.
Okay. So sometimes some women, one particular breast brings out more milk than the other. Is there any problem with that?
No, there's no problem with that. It can happen for some people like that, but there's no problem. There's no problem. You know, sometimes it's just a natural thing. It's just like for some people, or for almost all of us, one part of the breast is bigger than the other part. So it's just nature.
Okay. So now some babies they cry, or even at night. Why some people say don't give the baby breast milk at night, just train the baby so that when it's in the morning you give the baby. Maybe when the baby cries at night, just give the baby water. Okay, that's when the baby is old enough to take water.
Okay.
Then maybe during the day you breastfeed, but at night just stay so that you can sleep very well. Is it okay?
No, it's not okay. It's
But
not
the baby
okay.
is, but if the baby gets used to it, you can't sleep at night too. The mother is disturbed. The temperature the blood pressure might be high because you don't sleep enough.
You just
Yeah,
try
waking up to
to
breastfeed
get
the baby.
enough sleep. That's just it. Maybe when your baby is sleeping, you go
You have
out
other work to do.
and
That
get
day.
enough sleep. And then that's why some people do that. That's why some people extract, yeah, so that you use it to feed the baby when it's not convenient for you, or
Okay.
maybe when you're not there. Use it to, but it's not good to say that you will not breastfeed your child. Maybe some people will come and say, my child does not disturb all through the night and I don't breastfeed. For some people, that means that your child is not feeding well. That's what it implies, because the baby would also need, because that's the only food the baby takes for that period of time. So check how many hours that you're keeping the baby away from food. That's a long time. So you should try your best to see that you breastfeed your child as often as
possible.
required, because your child will be hungry. So when the baby's crying, try to feed the baby.
So, okay. Um, now we will be wrapping it up. But any message? What do you think we still need to tell the audience outside that we have not really dealt with?
Okay, is there any other thing I want like we've already said, it's very good to support women wherever you see, maybe you see them in an open place trying to breastfeed their baby. Even if you want to say something,
But some women are even shy to even open their breasts in the public. And
if you
oh,
don't, it's okay to use
a shawl or something to cover
yes,
your body.
use a light clothes to cover your breast while breastfeeding. But you shouldn't feel uncomfortable, maybe because of it, say you don't want to give your child breast milk, because that's you starving your child. So the general public, one way we can support that is to create room for women, make them feel comfortable while
Especially in
they,
the workplace, I think they
yes,
should have.
even in the workplace, yes. Employers, as much as possible, should try to give maternity leave, enough maternity leave for the child and the mother to bond very well before the mother resumes. Or even if they can't give as long, but like some states, I think like Lagos State
They are thinking
or
of
your
6
state, I think
months.
I think they give 6 months. Lagos or your Ekiti, Enugu, they give 6 months. So for people that can't afford 6 months, you can as well reduce their working hour for
them
that
to go
first
back home.
6 months, so that they can go home and have some time with their babies. So these are ways we can help to support mothers to keep breastfeeding their children, so that they don't go and use formulas, because these are things that affect the children and affect the general public in the long run. Like according to the report by the WHO, if women actually breastfed their babies very well, we'll be able to reduce 800,000 infant deaths every year. So you can imagine the impact that not
It has,
properly breastfeeding children has on the public, has on the population.
And you even said earlier on that it helps their mentality. So
Yes.
sometimes when we have good children like that,
Exactly.
we have a lot of things to develop in our community, our society.
Exactly,
Children that
yes.
are brilliant, that bring trophy and so many things to us.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. You've really spoken a lot. Though you're a young
Pleasure.
pharmacist, and people will say, "Oh, I'm having a young girl. She really does she really have the experience?" But you can see what she has said so far. She has the experience. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you, viewers at home, for being there. You've heard it all. Until we come your way again on the same program next week. Bye bye.